Kids are hearing that a guy from Tokyo is coming and are getting excited, wanting to come and see him at Yataro's village. Yataro agrees as long as they don't disturb the guest. He sees Kabane and tells him to stay there as he stinks. Meanwhile, the man from Tokyo, Inugami, hits a flat tire, but Mrs. Kusaka, his client and hostess of Kanoko Villa, takes him with his car. On their way, she explains that rotting livestock bodies have been appearing and people are getting scared, but are keeping it a secret from the children. At the villa, Inugami sees Kabane in the field and greets him. A Kabane just bows, causing Inugami to think that he is either shy or hard worker who doesn't even go to school. While taking a bath in the hot spring, Yataro comes and introduces himself as the hostess' son. Inugami asks him about the other boy, and Yataro explains he is Doratabo, a nickname like a yokai that lives in the fields. But, as he also has bad odor, they can't him do any work with guests. In the morning, Kabane takes a bath and brings breakfast to Inugami. Inugami then introduces himself and explains that he is there on an investigation and asks Kabane if he had seen anything strange. Kabane guesses the investigation is about the rotting corpses and explains he is in charge of disposing them, but they always appear after new moon. There is a new moon in 5 days, and Inugami decides to stay and starts helping with Kabane's daily work. While working on the field, Inugami notices the stone around Kabane's neck. Kabane tells him it probably belonged to his parents and they gave it to him when he was abandoned. Inugami wants to inspect it and realizes it as a rare life stone, which is formed only under special circumstances. As it's precious, his parents wouldn't have left it on him, which means he wasn't abandoned. Inugami asks Kabane if he wishes to meet his parents, and while not fully sure, Kabane guesses he may want to see them. On the night of the new moon, while waiting for Inugami, Yataro approaches Kabane and blames him for ruining his chances in going to Tokyo, and ends up taking Kabane's life calculus. Kabane then punches Yataro and starts to transform into a monster, wanting the life calculus back. Yataro runs scared, leaving the calculus, and once Kabane takes it back, he returns to normal. A bit later, Inugami finds Kabane, who blames himself and states he is the culprit. Inugami shows him that he has a tail and explains that kimono exist, and usually they don't get involved with people. He tells Kabane that he's a hybrid between human and ghoul, that his life calculus prevents his thirst from manifesting, and that there is another culprit. Kabane gets worried about Yataro as he doesn't know about the incidents occurring during new moon. Yataro then gets attacked by 2 infected dogs, but Inugami shoots and decapitates one, while Kabane breaks the neck of the other. They hear a noise and see a monster deer eating a dog. The deer then attacks them, and Inugami shoots at its neck, almost decapitating her. Kabane then jumps in, putting his hand into the deer mouth and then ripping its head from the body. While returning, Kabane comments he can't stay as Yataro knows what he is and they will blame all on him. Inugami then points his gun at Kabane, telling him that Mrs. Kusaka had hired him to kill him as she also knew what he was, as her older sister had told her when she left Kabane with her. Inugami asks him about his name and if he wishes to see his parents, but Kabane denies and wants to be killed, after which Inugami shoots him in the head. Inugami shows Kabane's body to Mrs. Kusaka and tells her he will dispose of the body. Kabane later wakes in Inugami's car, who tells him that he is a ghoul and can't die, but Doratabo is dead. Inugami takes Kabane to his counseling office and gives him some clothes. As he changes clothes, 2 other boys come in and wonder who is Kabane. Inugami introduces the other 2 children who work at the office to Kabane, who is Akira and Shiki. Akira then asks if Kabane is also a kimono since he smells a little unusual. Inugami reveals that Kabane is an immortal demon and human hanyo, which makes him similar to Shiki. Shiki then points out that the clothes Kabane is wearing is his. Akira then introduces himself and Kabane told him he was a pretty girl, which made Akira cry and saying he was a boy and then stormed off. Kabane is seen going to the bathroom. He trips and sees a thread. Shiki then asks him why he came there. At first, Kabane replies that it was a car, but then tells him he was looking for his parents. Shiki told him they were probably dead. Kabane tried to get up, but the web was holding him. Shiki warned him to not try as it won't come off, but Kabane forced it and frees himself. Shiki stops him and asks if it doesn't hurt. Kabane's leg then heals, which Shiki sees. The next day, Inugami tells the 3 to get along in the work in a perfect way to show what kimonoists do. After arriving at the scene, the investigator tells them that there is a mother, a child, and a rescuer inside. They see a 2 crying child outside the room who must be siblings. They look through the door and see the room infected with sanshi bugs, feeding on the people inside. The investigator then asks Inugami if there's anything they can do. Inugami responds that he can eliminate them 100%. He then transforms his body into steel in secret and tells that the people inside have a 50% chance of being saved. A rescuer then goes inside but is eaten also by the bugs. The investigator then insists to burn them to keep the civilian population safe. A child then appears saying they are not dead. While everyone is panicking, Shiki volunteers to do the job. Shiki shoots threads of silk in the room and creates a spider web. Shiki then uses it to make the bugs stick to it and move towards him. However, the bugs eat the web, causing it to collapse. Kabane then goes inside the room and is immediately attacked by the bugs. However, he doesn't feel pain since he is a ghoul. He successfully managed to deal with the bugs and destroy the cursed item that the family stole. After arriving back at the office, Shiki shares that his mom is an arachna. Kabane asks if she is alive, to which Shiki replies that he doesn't know and they are probably not looking for him. Kabane still believe their parents didn't abandon them and that they are alive, but even if they were dead, they still need to find out who they were. Shiki then leaves and shyly shows where Kabane's room is. Inugami talks to someone over the phone and reports the finished job and about Kabane. Inugami orders Shiki to bring Kabane to Inari. Meanwhile, Inari arrives at the Shinjuku police station and is greeted by the police. Shiki, Akira, and Kabane arrive at the Shinjuku station and directly go to the Shinjuku police station. Upon arriving, they ask to see Inari. A young girl appears, whose name is Khan, and asks who is Kabane. Kabane reveals himself. Khan then tells him that Inari is asking for him and orders Kabane to follow her. Being pushed inside by Khan, Kabane enters the room and sees Inari. Inari tells Kabane to show the lifestone, which Kabane, with no hesitation, hands it over. Suddenly, Kabane's head is decapitated by Khan. Inari orders the police, which is under her spell, to collect his head and dispose his body, and Khan to deal with Kabane's friends. A Kabane lookalike appears before Shiki and Akira, holding a briefcase. Curious as to what's inside the case, Akira asks him. Kabane responds that it is given to him and needs to deliver it to the room later. Akira notices something different with Kabane. Kabane transforms himself, which reveals to be Khan in disguise. Khan proceeds to attack the two using her flames. During the battle, Shiki manages to steal the briefcase from Khan. Upon opening, they see Kabane's head, which made Akira unconsciousness. Kabane tells Shiki to throw him at her and he will take her down. Shiki executes Kabane's plan by throwing him. Kabane manages land a deep bite on Khan's shoulders, which made her unconscious. Upon taking down Khan, the illusion is gone at the police station. Kabane grows back his body. The three leaves and sees Inugami waiting for them outside. Inari is seen riding a taxi and sees the lifestone change its appearance into a Tenduki doll. She then receives a call from Inugami. Inugami tells Inari that the lifestone belongs to Kabane and next time she will be dealing with him. It turns out Kabane is hiding the lifestone inside his mouth. Khan is seen struggling to walk after being attacked by Kabane. After Inugami and others went to dinner and go back to the office, they see Khan at a distance, which eventually falls down. She is given pizza and tells Inugami that she needs to retrieve Kabane's head. Kabane is cleaning the office when he is dragged by someone into a room. Akira and Shiki approach Inugami since they are concerned about him suddenly disappearing. The three run to the room at the end of the hallway, to which Kabane is cleaning, and see Kabane following the orders of a certain Mihai. Akira and Shiki are shocked to see Mihai living in the room all this time. Mihai then introduces himself and declares Kabane as his official wait person. Kabane then obliges to it without any hesitation. Inugami proceeds to tell the group about Mihai and orders them to stay away from him. The next day, Shiki and Akira again see Kabane at Mihai's room, ordering him around. Shiki aggressively tells Mihai to not treat Kabane as a slave. As a response to Shiki's statement, Mihai proposes a deal that if they beat him in arm wrestling, he will set Kabane free. However, Shiki loses every time and Akira tells him that he can win against him. Suddenly, Kabane offers to arm wrestle Mihai. However, Kabane is also defeated just like Shiki. Inugami tells Akira and Shiki that Mihai is toying with them and has a brute strength, considering he is a vampire. At the park, Kabane encounters Khan. Khan reveals that Inari doesn't need Kabane's head anymore, and as soon as she brought Kabane's head to her, she saw another kitsune, Nobamura, serving her. Kabane offers Khan in a match. The two engage in a match and Khan loses. She cries over her loss and being weak. Back at the office, Inugami is shocked to see Mihai leaving his room. Mihai reveals that his arm is broken by Kabane and will take 1 week to heal, hence he can't play games and decides to help Inugami in his work. Back at the park, Kabane comforts Khan. Kabane then offers Khan to stay at their place, however, Khan refuses, saying she can't live with a Tenuki and proposes she can live with Kabane at the park. Kabane refuses, saying that he has a chore and will be back soon. Back at the office, Shiki tells Inugami that he wants to learn something about his parents. Kabane, Shiki, Akira, and Inugami are on their way to Kinshigo in order to meet Shiki's parents. Upon arriving, Inugami takes care of their lodge. Meanwhile, the others visit a souvenir place. Shiki notices a young girl entering the shop. After a while, Inugami arrives with Akio, Shiki's uncle. The group goes to the forest. Akio introduces himself as Shiki's father's younger brother and someone who knows a lot about kimono. Akio then goes straight to the issue about Shiki's mother. He reveals that together with his brother, they went to the forest to learn about the legend of Nishikugumo, and that's where they encountered Shiki's mother, and the rest of the story has been already told to Shiki. Akira and Kabane worry about Shiki, and when Shiki arrives, they ask him about the news. Shiki reveals that both of his parents are dead. Later, Kabane, Akira, and Shiki are seen bathing. Suddenly, Nobumaru appears, and since he saw that there are only 3 of them in the bathhouse, he reveals himself as a kitsune. Noticing that the 3 seems down, he suggests for them to go explore the forest since there are fireflies. The 4 then arrive at the forest and see a bunch of fireflies. While wandering, Shiki finds a familiar tree and says that he used it as a landmark. Suddenly, he remembers that he used to go right from the tree. Shiki then starts to run and finds a cabin. He remembers that time that at the other side of the door is something that is way more disgusting. As Shiki opens the door, he recalls what he saw when he was young. It was her mom being impregnated by a kimono. As they follow Shiki at the cabin, Nobumaru finds an artificial insemination catheter and wonders why is it there. Nobumaru then suddenly remembers a certain kimono incident in which a certain item called healing silk appeared in the human market and Inari suppressed it before it became public. However, a certain human was blacklisted. Meanwhile, Inugami goes to Akio's room and tells him he wants to have an adult conversation with him. Nobumaru reveals the man that is blacklisted to be Akio. Nobumaru further tells that the place and the kimono incident is related and the place is used as a test site to create the golden spider webbing. Shiki recalls his memories when he was young, when he tried to save his mother from the monster but suddenly felt a flow on his head and lost consciousness. Upon waking up, he sees his uncle, that his mother is safe, however her injuries are severe and will take a long time to recover. At some point, Shiki felt like his uncle was lying and he ran from the truth. Shiki then tells Nobumaru that they want each other to share information, and if all are connected, he won't forgive his uncle and will kill him. Meanwhile, at the forest, Inugami is having a conversation with Akio. Inugami mentions the golden spider webbing. Akio becomes frozen and tells Inugami that he keeps getting on his way and what did he do wrong. Inugami then asks Akio how it was born. Akio confesses his doings, to which it was revealed that all this time Shiki is listening to their conversation through call and Shiki restrains Akio. Akio asks Inugami if he is okay with the children killing, to which Inugami says he's already resigned to it. Just then, Akira arrives crying and covered in dirt after being left behind. A kimono appears behind Akira and tries to attack him. Inugami manages to protect Akira on time but was poisoned by a venom from the kimono. The 2 were both dragged by the kimono, leaving the 3 to deal with Akio. A group of kimonos appear in Akio's aid, which reveals to be Shiki's siblings, all of them being a result of Akio's experiments. Shiki hears his mother's words through his siblings, which made him break down. Nobumaru suggests to Kabane for them to deal with it. However, Kabane gives no response and approaches Shiki if he needs help. Shiki cries and asks for Kabane's help. Meanwhile, Inugami and Akira are separated from the group. Unable to produce a gun, Inugami asks Akira if he could freeze his arm, to which he does. Just as a kimono would be attacking them, the young girl appears and orders the kimonos not to attack them. She then offers Inugami to come with her in order to heal his arm. Kabane continues to deal with the kimonos with only goal in mind to kill Akio. On the other hand, the young girl leads Inugami and Akira into a spring which eventually heals Inugami's arm. The young girl begs for them not to kill Akio, since there is still something she needs to ask him. Kabane defeats all the kimonos and approaches Akio. He throws him near Shiki, saying that he can do whatever he wants to him. Shiki thanks Kabane for dealing with the kimonos. Shiki then reveals that he had realized that killing his uncle won't bring his mother back. Just then, Inugami and Akira arrive together with the young girl, whose name is Aya. Akio is shocked to see Aya at the woods. Shiki becomes intrigued as to why Akio gets so worked up. Aya asks Akio the location where he hid the cocoon she made. Akio refuses to reveal the information and controls Aya. Aya tells Shiki she can't reveal who she is or otherwise she will be hated by him. Inugami offers to track down the cocoon and contacts Mihai and asks any crucial information about Akio. Mihai reveals about Akio's 4 places he regularly checks on. Upon hearing about a spring, Aya rushes to it, to which she is followed by Shiki. Akio tries to stop her, but failed. Aya realizes the reason the spring has detoxifying effects is because part of the cocoon was dissolved there. Just as Aya tries to dive into the spring, Shiki offers to do it instead. After some time underneath, he finds his mother wrapped in a cocoon. Shiki resurfaces and goes back. Aya asks him if he has found the cocoon. Shiki asks if it was her doing and if his mother is still alive. Aya reveals her full name and her true identity of being the Golden Webbing. Inugami, Kabane holding Akio, Akira, and Namamura rush to the area and see Shiki's mother. Akio reveals that he needs to keep Kuni close in hand and in case something happened to Aya and the idea of mass production. Shiki punches Akio. He then proceeds to tell Inugami he wants to move his mother on a safe place and decides not to kill Akio. He also asks Aya to come with them. The group leaves and goes back to Tokyo. Meanwhile, Akio is confronted by Nobamaru and was killed. The group arrives at a clinic run by Inugami's friend. Inugami tells it was an urgent case and an old lady appears before them, revealed to be Granny Ohana. Granny Ohana proceeds to check Kumi's state and tells that her condition might be something psychological and reassures Shiki that she will wake up. She then lets the group stay over the night. After checking up on Kumi, the group leaves, leaving Shiki and Aya in the room. Kabane and Akira are already asleep. Meanwhile, Shiki is still at his mother's side. With no courage to open the door, Aya reminisces about her memories with her mother and how she learned that she has a big brother who believes he will rescue her and her mother. Suddenly, Shiki calls out to her and encourages her to enter the room. Aya asks Shiki if he doesn't hate her and why won't he kill her like the other kimonos. Shiki responds that it is because she kept their mother alive and is glad he met her. Aya then cries after hearing Shiki's words. Kumi then wakes up and sees her children beside her. The three hug each other. 1 week later, back at the agency, Shiki is absent, which is revealed that Shiki decided to stay at the hospital for a while to take care of his mother. However, they are surprised when Shiki arrives at the agency and has no plans on quitting and promises Kabane to help him find his parents as thanks for helping him. Aya also arrives at the agency with a completely different aura and personality. She then reports to Inugami that she decided to work with Granny Ohana. During the commotion at the agency, Khan arrives and challenges Kabane to a match. Inugami interrupts the children's fun and talks about a new job. The news reports about incidents where women's faces are being ripped. Kabane, Aya, and Khan take on the job. The three arrive at Harajuku where the incidents happen. Khan volunteers to handle the job, boasting that she is Inari's subordinate. However, she isn't recognized and is ignored by the police officer. Kabane then introduces themselves as part of the Inugami Detective Agency and the officer leads them the way. While doing the job, Khan develops a jealous feeling over Kabane and Aya. She is then distracted by a voice saying it will help her. Soon, Aya's hair was grabbed by something which Kabane manages to hit. A kimono, who is revealed to be a katanashi, shows herself and explains her intentions of ripping women's faces in order to impress the boy she loves. She then points out Khan being in pain. While being questioned by Aya about what is wrong with her, Khan gets angry and transforms into her kitsune form and tries to attack Aya, but Kabane manages to protect her, making Khan run away from the both of them. Aya and Kabane arrive back at the agency. Aya reveals that she gave the katanashi a body to make her look human. Aya then leaves and gives Kabane a goodbye kiss. Kabane sees Khan crying and questions her. Kabane comforts Khan, which made her feel better. Khan reveals that she wants to be the most important to Kabane and asks him what she should do to do that. Kabane responds that he doesn't know. Akira decides to leave the agency and takes on a journey. While roaming the streets, he encounters Yui, his twin brother. They go to a park. Yui asks him what kind of home he wants, to which Akira wants to have something like Ice Castle. After hearing this, Yui builds Akira an ice castle. While trying to take pictures of the place, Yui gets Akira's phone, freezes it, and breaks it. Yui leaves, telling Akira not to leave the place and finds them food outside. While browsing, Inugami sees a post about an ice castle. Inugami, Kabane, and Shiki arrive at the location. Yui is seen coming out from the castle and is asked if he is the owner of the castle. Just as he is about to freeze the reporter, Inugami shoots at his hand, stopping him. However, Yui freezes the wound and reveals the nil calculus attached to his chest. Inugami then proceeds to ask Yui what happened at the snow village, since the calculus is forbidden to take out. Yui refuses to answer him, but instead gives his thanks to him for taking care of Akira. Yui asks the three what are their relationship to Akira, and Kabane responds that they are Akira's friends and asks Yui if Akira is inside the castle. While locked up, Akira begins to worry about his brother. Big Brother proceeds to reveal that Yui's temperature around his heart is extremely low and may affect him physically and mentally. Yui then comes back to the castle and tells Akira that the furnishings he requested are done and orders him to come down. Akira sees his friends frozen and becomes shocked by the sight, resulting to him not feeling well. Yui leaves the ice castle to find mints for Akira. Akira cries while claiming that all of his friends have died. However, Big Brother tells him otherwise, that they are still alive. After realizing that Kabane doesn't die, Akira becomes happy and wonders if there is any way to melt the ice. Yui returns to the ice castle, but Akira requests for another favor in order to take advantage of the opportunity to melt the ice and save his friends. Inari and Nobumaru arrive at the ice castle's location. While waiting for the requested salt and water, Kabane manages to break from the ice and freeze himself. Kabane informs Akira about the Nullstone and asks him about it. Akira remembers that the snow village where he came from has a barrier against snowstorms and learns that Kabane needs to persuade his brother even if it means fighting him. Just then, Yui arrives and tries to freeze Kabane again. However, Akira stops him, saying that he doesn't care about them and wants to leave the place. Yui and Akira then both leave the place. Inari shows up in the ice castle. Kabane becomes wary of her presence. However, Inari reveals that she's at the ice castle to retrieve the Nullstone, not for the Lifestone, and asks for Kabane's help, revealing that it is connected to Kabane's parents. Akira and Yui are seen strolling. Hearing that something is coming, Yui locks up Akira in a cage. Just then, Nobumaru reveals himself. Yui asks him what his relationship to Akira, to which Nobumaru says that he is just a stranger. Yui tries to freeze him. However, Nobumaru manages to escape with his right feet frozen, but eventually melts it using his flames. Nobumaru transforms into his kitsune appearance. Inari tries to persuade Kabane into helping her retrieve it. Just then, Inugami gives his permission and lets Kabane join Inari and tells him to save Akira. Nobumaru replicates multiple of himself to confuse Yui. However, Yui summons large ice picks and attacks Nobumaru. Kabane is seen running towards where Akira is. Akira contemplates that the other Kemonoists will be killed with the way things are headed and execute his plan of an Operation Get Along in order to settle the current problem with his brother and his friends. Meanwhile, Yui fights with Nobumaru. When Akira calls out to Yui, which made Yui distracted, Nobumaru gets a chance to approach Yui and touch the no calculus. However, Nobumaru wasn't able to stand the calculus power, resulting to it injuring his hands. While trying to think on how to retrieve the calculus, Yui comes after him. Suddenly, Kabane shows up in order to help Nobumaru. Together with Nobumaru, Kabane devises a plan in order to take down Yui. Kabane sets his body on fire and attacks Yui, which melts his ice. Yui covers his body with ice and vows to protect Akira. Kabane and Yui engage in a continuous fight. While in battle, Nobumaru reminds Kabane that his body will fall apart if the flames overpowered his regeneration skill. However, Kabane insists for Nobumaru to put him on flames. Meanwhile, Akira still tries to get out from the ice cage. He suddenly realizes that the fog is made of water and tries to use his power to create a large ice that will break the cage he is in. Kabane manages to fully melt Yui's ice on his body. Just as Kabane is about to blow his second attack, Akira steps in and stops him. Yui's body starts to break, which is a result of the calculus absorbing his life. As Akira tries to remove the calculus from his brother, Akira sees a vision of his brother when they were young. He then realizes that Yui sacrificed himself for him in order to protect him. Kabane rushes to Akira's side and tries to help Akira. He spits out the life calculus, which combined to the no calculus. Just then, Inari interferes and touches the combined calculus. Inugami with Shiki also arrive at the scene. Inugami tells Inari to give the calculus back since it belongs to Kabane. Inari proceeds to toss back the combined calculus, since it would be useless for her to say if she can't hold of the no calculus. They then go to Granny Ohana's hospital in order for Yui to get some rest. Upon finding Kabane, Akira apologizes to Kabane. Yui wakes up and thanks Kabane for saving him. Kabane then interferes and politely asks Yui to tell him something about the no calculus, since he needs leads. Inugami proceeds to tell them about the war between kimonos and human and their other calculus like Kabane's. Yui recalls the thing he had done, and Inugami dismisses it as it happens all the time. Akira then tells Yui for them to be together all the time. In response, Yui apologizes to Akira. The group then poses for a photo. Meanwhile, Kan encounters Nobumaru in front of her. Kan becomes alert and cautious around him. However, Nobumaru tells Kan that Inari has a special mission for her, which made Kan delighted. Nobumaru then gives the orders, which is to persuade Kabane and retrieve the kimono calculus. Kabane, Akira, and Shiki go to Mihai's room to get Nissan repaired. Akira goes out to travel with his brother. On the other hand, Inugami and Kabane also go out to travel in order to find other calculus. During their departure, Kan appears before them, telling that she will also come to their trip. The end. If you enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more.